Welcome, everybody. Ryan McKenzie here with I Hate Selling Live. We are doing a dueling podcast episode, and this is crazy. This is crazy. So we are live on Facebook, and we are live in two different groups, I think, right now. Right, Jono?
Yes, I suck with technology, but I'm pretty sure we're also live in my Facebook group. Maybe we do a bit of a check. If you're in the Fitness Education Online Facebook group, can you just comment below and let us know if you can hear both me and Ryan? Because we're using different speakers, different cameras.
Hey, we're doing this. Could crash and burn. This could be the worst thing ever, or it could be the best thing ever. I don't know. But if you're listening to us on the podcast, you're missing out on what we got going on in the Facebook group. So join my group, I Hate Selling for the Fitness Professional, and join Jono's group, Fitness Education Online. What's the official title of your group, Jono?
The Fitness Education Online Community.
Do it. So guys that are getting this late on YouTube and LinkedIn and everywhere else that you can grab this podcast, or if you're just listening to it and not watching us, I mean, why would you not want to look at Jono? Look at this man. Come on. Jump into the groups, hang out with us on Facebook instead of trolling your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend. Jump into something that's going to help your business, help your clients, and do some good things. So I brought Jono in today for this podcast episode, and I'm going to ask him a few questions. We're going to get going. And before we do that, I want you to know who this man is. He runs one of the largest Facebook groups that helps fitness professionals, one of the most engaging Facebook groups helping fitness professionals. He's millions and millions of miles away from me, millions of miles away, all the way down. Where are you, Jono? What part of
Sydney, Australia.
Sydney, Australia. Billions and billions and billions of miles away. I don't even know how far it is, but it's crazy far. And he's got some really amazing courses, really amazing content for you guys. Check it out, Fitness Education Online. And Jono, two questions that are the most important before we start. What's your favorite cereal, sir?
Oh, not a big cereal guy. I'm more a protein pancakes guy. But
if you had to eat cereal for the rest of your life and you weren't allowed to eat anything else, what would you pick?
I would go granola.
No, that doesn't count. It's got to be something horribly bad for you.
I got to admit, I haven't had cereal since I was 5 years old, which is only about 10 years ago. But I would maybe say, no, I got to go granola. That's all I can give you. I'm sorry.
That's all you got. All right, fair enough. All right, and then what's one odd thing about you that not many people know? You're a pretty open guy, but what's one odd, weird thing you do that not many people know about?
Just one?
Just one. Only
just one. Okay. I think I'm the biggest WCW wrestling fan in the history of the world. I think I would beat anyone at trivia when it comes to WCW Wrestling Nitro. I don't think anyone in the world can beat me at that. So if anyone's got any trivia, feel free to comment it below in the questions, and I'm 99.9% sure I'll know the answer without Googling it.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
Oh, so many of them. Look, I might have to go with Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Does he still wrestle?
No, he doesn't anymore. No, I haven't watched it I don't watch it anymore. I'm talking, when I was a kid.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, all right. It's not as weird. I thought currently that was your hobby. Right now you love. Okay.
I wish I had the time for that, but no.
Let's get to why we're here. We've got Jono has figured out, and I've been following you and Travis in your group, man. You guys do some really cool stuff. You guys actually do some things. If I'm looking up here, if you're watching me later, I got Jono's group, I got my group, we got all kinds of stuff going on. So this is fun. You guys do some really awesome stuff. And it's kind of the opposite of my focus, which is what I love, because I feel like we complement each other in our thinking a lot. So you guys are working from the boot camp end and working out that way, how to actually make a financially successful fitness business without working thousands and thousands of hours a week. And I think I've even heard you talk about doing an hour a day or something like that, just really cool stuff that you've seen some of your clients and even yourself do. It's really exciting. I'm going the other way, more high-end personal training, small groups. You're going the other way, blow it out, big boot camps, which is really cool. And I think they both have space in the conversation. It's really neat. So talk to us about why boot camps are the way and what I should do to not grind it out. I know that feeling. It goes from I can't make it in this industry. I don't have enough clients, to once you make it, it's like, I can't make it in this industry. I don't have enough hours in my day. I don't have time with my family. I don't have time to do anything fun. If I really want to make it, it just sucks everything out of me. So what the heck do we do?
Awesome. Well, yes, I can even make it a bit more general, to be honest. I can't go the boot camp pathway, but I think what might be cool is I believe I've now got a formula. So I don't care what fitness business you're running, whether it's boot camp, PT, one-on-one, online, any business ever, I feel there's a formula. And if you can master this formula, it doesn't have to be boot camp. It doesn't have to be, group training. It can be in any way you want. So are you cool if I run with it like that, Ryan?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So the formula that I essentially use, and it's got to be a two-way thing. It's got to be, hey, how can I bring in the income that I want to bring, but also do it working the amount of hours I want to work and not working a whole heap of different hours. And what I've realized is every business to run successfully, you essentially want to put it in 4 different compartments. Okay. Right. There's the marketing, the sales, the delivery, and the admin. Okay. Those 4 there. And just from an overall view, it usually works in that way as well. So it's usually like, all right, great. I've got a business. How can I get people to hear about me? I've got to do some marketing. And that's like the first step. Then it's like, okay, great. I'm doing some marketing, but now I've got to actually get some clients, right? What's the sales process to get these people from hearing about me to actually being a client? Okay. Now you've made the sale. Now you actually need to give these people a good delivery, right? You got to give them a good service there. And then by giving them a good service, there's also going to be some sort of admin, whether it's filling out forms, whether it's doing the pre-screening, whether it's any of that sort of thing there, right? So every business has those four things there. And you need to essentially have all of those running smoothly on their own. And let's have a really brief chat about those 4, and then we'll go a bit more detail one by one.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this and thinking, all right, well, what's marketing? What do you consider marketing? I might throw the question out to you there, Ryan. What would you say if you just had to pick 3 popular forms of marketing, either in your business or a personal trainer's business? What would you say?
Yeah, I'd go, newspaper, magazine, television. Right?
Really? Or
no?
I was gonna say you missed the yellow pages. They're quite a good one.
Yellow
these
pages,
days.
Newspaper, television. Right? What would you say?
Yeah, different strategy to me. Each to their own. I would go a bit different, and let's just throw a few of them out there. I'll even use my business. My business is a bit different because it's an online course business, right? But it'll still sort of relate. Sure. I find for me, Facebook ads are really successful in terms of getting my name out there. I want to get to new people. Great, let me throw some Facebook ads out there. I also find social media is effective, specifically Instagram. And also I've got a Facebook group, so that's quite handy as well. But if I didn't, Instagram is quite handy. I can put together, free mini courses and that sort of thing posted on Instagram, collect leads that way there.
Time on Instagram.
Well, yeah, I know you do shirtless photos. That gives you a lot of
big
followers
on Instagram,
there.
Right? That's what.
True. And then Google for me as well. My website is ranked quite highly on SEO. Perfect. So they're those sort of things there, right? Marketing. Right. Now the down point with marketing is if you're not making any sales, it's a big waste of time, right? And even let's even spend a bit of time on marketing here. Every personal trainer knows they need to market, right? But most people just throw things out there. Yeah, I'll do an Instagram post today and then an Instagram story tomorrow. And then I'm on YouTube and I'm on Pinterest and I'm on Facebook and I've got a business page and my personal profile. And, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And they're doing a whole heap of marketing to generate traction, which it's not a bad thing. Marketing's a good thing, but you want to make sure you're doing the marketing that's getting you the results. Yep. Okay. So that's sort of my first suggestion there. And even if you're watching this, I'd even grab out a pen and paper and I would just write down, even put it in 4 columns: marketing, sales, delivery, and admin. All right. Yeah, there we go. Those 4 there. And then under marketing, write down all the different marketing activities you do. Okay. Now it might be tricky to get this first off the bat, but essentially what you want to do is be like, okay, which of these marketing activities are actually giving me leads? And you might find that half the stuff you're doing is not even giving you any leads. So it's sort of like, look, it's better than nothing. But if you've got some stuff that's bringing you in leads, focus on that. And then you can even scrap the other half, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the first suggestion there of like both getting your business busier and also saving time as well. Because what a lot of trainers do in that situation is, hey, I'm too busy for marketing. I'm just going to outsource and get someone else to do my marketing. And it's usually one of 2 things. They either hire someone who's, not that good at what they do. Yeah, I just want someone cheap. Yeah, you can go and do my marketing. And because that person, may not be experienced or they haven't had the training by the business owner, that marketing person is not going to do a good job, right? And then it's just you're throwing more of your money away. Or you might go high end and spend thousands of dollars on a marketing agency, but if you don't have those systems in place, or we'll get to the next point in sales as well, if you don't know how to sell, that's going to be a waste of money as well. You could pay someone $1,000, they can give you 100 leads on Facebook, but if you don't have a sales process, you're not going to make any of them anyway. All right. So that's my first suggestion. Get those 4 columns, right? Under marketing, write down every single thing you're doing on marketing, even give it a rating or an outcome where it's like, all right, this is my best form of marketing, so I definitely want to do this. Here's 10 different things I'm doing. Let me rank them 1 to 10. Hey, things from 5 to 10 are giving me absolutely nothing. Let me just scrap them off and save some time.
Yeah.
Make sense so far?
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. And then we go to the next side of things, which is sales. Okay. So yeah, a thing or two about that topic there, right? Because this is the other thing, right? And I'm sure you'll agree here, right? Every trainer knows they need to do marketing. So they're out there, they're posting on Facebook, they're posting on Instagram, they're probably doing letterbox drops, they're getting out there, but they may not have a sales process in place, right? And if you don't have a sales process in place, it almost wastes your marketing. And on the flip side, if you do have a sales process in place, it makes your marketing better, because you might go and spend $1,000 on Facebook. Great, you get 100 leads, but now that you know how to sell, you might close 20, 30, 40, 50 of them, right? And it might not be then and there, but they might come down later down the track or whatever it may be. So that's the other thing, is I'd list down every single sales system that you use. And let's use a few of them there, Ryan. Do you have any favorites, whether it's on the phone, in person?
Here's what I hear the most, and maybe you tell me if this is a good idea, bad idea. I get a lead, I invite him in for a free session, I beat him up, and I say, huh? Right? Isn't that the best way to do it? This is what I hear all the time. Like, my training speaks for itself. Just come on out, and then they're going to want to sign up. That's what, to be honest, that's what I hear most trainers have as their sales system. That's as far as they thought it through, right? I'm a great trainer. I have a great class. I'll get a lead. I'll bring them in for free. They can't say no. What do you think? Huh?
So look, I think there's elements of truth in that, but I think that process can be done better. Okay. And let's use the old, let's just use,
yeah, it could definitely be done better.
Yeah, exactly. So, and let's use bring a friend as an example. That's one of my favorite sales systems to use, right? And when I first did it, I did something similar to what you mentioned, Ryan. I told all my clients, hey, bring a friend. Hardly anyone brought a friend anyway. Maybe 1 or 2 people did. Didn't change the session at all. When it was like week 6 of a 12-week boot camp, I think I was doing the death by cardio session at that week there. So these, bring a friends came in for their first session was death by cardio. So, and I just assumed they'd sign up at the end of it for the remaining of the 6 weeks, and they didn't. But I was like, all right, maybe it's, and it was probably a good thing, because I was like, okay, I must have done something wrong. What did I do? And then I actually was like, all right, cool. Let me think about every single thing I can do to increase the chances of this person turning up, or even increase people getting down there, right? We go to the marketing side of things. I was like, hey, I probably need to do a little bit more than just say, hey guys, it's bring a friend week next week, all right? So I was like, let me give it a bit of a lead up. Let me give me two weeks lead up. Tell everyone every day for 2 weeks in my group. Send out a text message, a bulk text message. Send out an individual text message. Tell everyone after training. Print out a little bring a friend form, which is like a pre-screening form, but also has that person's name, number, and email on there. So I get this form before that person comes in. Before that friend comes in, I give them a call. Hey, what's happening? Do you have any injuries? What are your goals? Join the Facebook group. Add me on Facebook. Hey, I'm here if you need anything. What sessions are you coming to? Yada, yada, yada. After their first session, send them a text. Hey, what's happening? How you enjoying it? How you holding up? Cool. Keep me posted. Maybe after the second session, hey, just wanted to check a couple of sessions in. How you going? Then after the third session, I can send a text. Hey, how'd you enjoy it? You're interested in signing up. That's way better. And also I tailor the program, right? I make sure that week is like the fun, most enjoyable week of all bootcamp. Okay. But either way, that's a bit of a process now. So it's not just go to the training, don't do anything. I basically make the sale before that person even comes in, right? I don't actually do the transaction, but I do everything. I basically treat that person like they're a client there. Okay. But either way, it doesn't even have to be that. You might have a system which is selling on the phone. It may be free trial. It may be via email, many different things there. but some sort of system where it's like, great, you're doing something to collect leads, but also what are you doing to convert those leads into sales? And you want to play the short-term game and the long-term game as well. Let's just use, I'm just going to use Facebook as an example, but it could be anything. Let's say those same 100 leads that we got, right? We do a campaign, we spend $1,000, we get 100 leads. Let's say 10 of them sign up, all right? Let's go conservative. 10 of them sign up, but each one signs up for a $500 program, okay? So you've made $5,000. Still a pretty good deal, right? You know, you've spent $1,000, you've made $5,000. I like those odds. You'd like a $4,000 profit, right, Ryan?
Sure.
Yeah, cool. But what can be better is those 90 people that didn't sign up, they're not saying I'm never going to train with you. They're just saying, hey, you know, I'm not ready to sign up with you right now. So if there's a way you can nurture those people, keep in contact with them, they may lead to sales further down the track there. Okay, make sense?
It's good.
Cool. Let's move down the line here to delivery. Now, there's no right or wrong. There's many different ways you can deliver. We mentioned a few of them before. Is it boot camp? Is it one-on-one? Is it online? You know, plenty of different options there.
And
now, I don't care which way you go.
Yeah, this is where trainers will either they're excellent at delivery and that's what they love, and I'm all about the session, or I love the relationship and I love sales and I love the marketing process, trying to bring people in. And it's like, that's where the road divides, right? Like you have to be good at delivery to make the marketing and the sales actually stick. Otherwise you start losing people at the back end. So this is
bang on. And let's even, you know what, I'm even going to save this one for last, because that way we can knock over the admin one a little bit easier, because this is where it does get tricky, right? Usually when you start off, you do all of that on your own: sales, marketing, delivery, admin. Okay. Now, if we're looking at outsourcing or hiring, what's your opinion, Ryan? What do you think the first one you should outsource out of those? If it's either your marketing, your sales, your delivery, or your admin, what do you recommend?
I would outsource whatever you hate the most. For most trainers, that's going to be admin, because it's the least likely to affect someone coming into you or someone staying with you or leaving you, right? Like it's just behind the scenes work. So let's get that off our plate, because everything else is going to have an impact on somebody else and you can still have control over it. And it's likely the other stuff is either part of or the reason you got into the industry in the first place, right?
Yes, bang on.
To follow up with paperwork, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So that's even the first trick to get more time and to increase your income, is outsource your admin as quick as you can. And the good thing these days is the way the world's working virtually, virtual assistants, usually about $5, $10 an hour. You can outsource your admin for about $5, $10 an hour. And you don't need to hire someone full time. It might be an hour a day, right? You may be able to hire someone an hour a day for 25 to 50 bucks, saves you an hour a day. And even just, let's look at it logically, you might just say, hey, you know, I can do one PT session and make double as that much money and take 4 hours off. So I don't need to worry about my admin. I'm saving 5 hours a week with admin. I'm just going to do one extra session on the Monday. That's going to pay for the virtual assistant, plus give me some profit, and I can sleep in an extra hour a day, and the business isn't affected at all. Okay. So that's the first bit of advice I can give. Find whatever you can outsource, and outsource that ASAP. And this is the thing I've realized with any business owner as well. And everyone starts off like this, right? Every single soul trainer, especially trainers, we usually have two thoughts. We either think, hey, nobody can do this thing like I can do it, or they think, hey, it's going to be quicker if I do it on my own. Now, the nobody can do it like me, we'll talk more about that in the delivery side of things, right? But in the admin side of things, come on, you're a trainer. No way you're the best admin person in the world, right? If you can just create, it's more about a system, you know, and this is where it comes into like, you know, it's going to be quicker if I do it myself. Because when you're first training someone up, you may need to spend a few hours training them up, right? You bring a virtual assistant on board, they're not going to know how to do things straight away. You may have to spend an hour teaching them this task, and it feels like a lot of work at the start, because a task that you can do in an hour might take 2 hours to teach someone else, you know? And you may be thinking, hold on, you know, this isn't worth it. You know, it's taking me double as much long. I don't have any time as it is. But you're essentially building an asset, because it might take you at the start, the first couple of times, it might take you, double as long. But once that person knows what they're doing, you then never need to do it again. Okay. Yeah. So And that's about systems, and it's coming up with good systems. It's like, all right, hey, this is a task I got to do. I'm not just going to explain it to the person over Zoom now and expect that they do it. Hey, watch me do it here. I'm going to record me do it step by step as I do it. I'm going to write some notes and put them down there as well. And I'm going to put it in some sort of a system, whether it's Google Sites, whether it's Dropbox, whether it's Google, whatever. So it's like, hey, here's all the admin tasks. Here they are listed. Oh, I need to know how to invoice. Let me just go and watch that video and then have the document next to me. Okay, great. No possible mistakes can be made. All right. So admin there. And even let's get, if you're watching this in the group, comment below and let me know if all that makes sense, because once you do that, and Ryan, you've recently hired a virtual assistant, right?
Yeah. So it was probably 3 or 4 hours of my time for the podcast, for some other things that I've got going on, and just going through, okay, when I do this, what are the step-by-step things I take? And I broke it down granular, like just, I open my computer, I open this browser, I click on this, I type in this link, I click on this button, I then click stuff that seems just obvious and just repetitive and just ridiculously simple. But I'm like, if you don't do that, you're taking for granted that they know what the next step is, then they're going to have to call you again, text you again, find you again, where you can take 2 to 3 hours, write down every step. But here's the problem I've seen with it, Jono, is some people, and maybe it's a certain personality style, will get into this. It has to be perfect. So they start to, either they don't do it at all, or they start to build out their system before they've had success with it. So I'm going to do this, then this, then this, then this, then this. And my first question is to a lot of people that have come to me like that, like, I need help growing my business. I've done this, this. I'm going to do this. So how many clients do you have? Well, none. I've got to do all this first. It's like, go get a client. Go get 5 clients. Go get 1 client, because really it's all theory until you're doing it, right? So once you're doing, once you feel like, man, I'm hitting a place where I can't handle it anymore, write it all out. I feel confident or successful with this, nail it all down, and then go on with it. Because if you build a system for everything, it's all going to change a second. Everything changes when you get punched in the face, right? So that's, there we go.
Bang on. Yes, agree with that. And I'll give two sort of suggestions there as well. So bang on. You need to have it perfect yourself. And that's why I see a lot of trainers make mistakes in the sales and marketing side of things. It's like, hey, I just want to do the delivery. You go off and do marketing for me. Doesn't really work like that. It's more like, hey, I've got a perfect marketing system. I'm going to bring you in, do this, and this, right? So agree with it on that side there. And even like the nobody can do it like me and the got to be perfect side of things, I'm a big outcome person. So I'm all about, all right, cool. Let's just use the admin as an example, right? Oh, and we can go either way. Actually, let's go anything. Let's use admin as an example, but then let's bring it forth for everything else as well. Let's say you're outsourcing your admin, all right? Your outcome is to have this invoice paid, okay? Now, you've obviously got your system to make sure it's done, but as long as that invoice is paid, like, doesn't matter, job done, okay? Same thing if we're looking at marketing. You might have a system that you use, but let's say your marketing is, hey, I want to make sure I get 10 leads every week off Facebook, okay? Hey, I'm going to check the leads. As long as it's those 10 leads there, I'm happy, because nobody likes to be micromanaged, right? Nobody likes you to check every single step on that thing there. Yeah, have the system, but as long as the outcome's reached, doesn't really matter, okay? Good. So that's the admin. Let's talk about delivery now. So many different ways to deliver, and Ryan hit it on the head, where it's like, this is where it gets tricky. Most trainers can do everything themselves. That's fine, but there's a limit to that, because you've only so many hours in a day, right? You can outsource your admin. That's the first thing I recommend outsourcing. That's going to free you up an hour, a couple hours a day. That's great. But then from here, you've got to essentially make the choice and be like, hey, do I want to work on my own and just be a one-person show? And that's what it is. It's just me, and that's fine. But you're going to limit yourself. There's only so many things you can do with you actually working, right? The whole goal of a business, if you want to run a business, is that business needs to run without you being there. Okay, so that's another mindset shift as well, right? It's like, cool, how can I get this business to run without me there? Now, I find that delivery is usually easier to outsource than sales and marketing. But let's even spend a minute before we talk about outsourcing there anyway. The first thing with delivery would be, let's get a leveraged way, all right? Now, with one-on-one, it's not leveraged, right? If you're training just one person to one person, there's only so many hours in a day that you can train that person there. all right?
Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, you might start off with that. Cool, let me fill my books one-on-one. And then from there, it's like, all right, I've already filled my books. How can I leverage? And then it might be small group training. All right, cool. You know, now instead of training one person at a time, can I train 4 people at a time? All right. Now all of a sudden it's like, all right, great. You know, now I'm making 4 times as much or whatever it may be. Okay. You can go to boot camp there as well. My personal favorite is boot camp because I found that I could run just one session a day and get everyone in that one session. And then I could spend the rest of my day on sales and marketing. And that's how I was able to grow. If I'm working 8 hours a day, right? And I spend 1 hour on delivery and 7 hours on sales and marketing, even if I suck at sales and marketing, I'm going to win, right? If I'm making 7 hours of sales calls, at least one person's going to feel sorry for me and sign up, right? So, you know, that's
at the end of the day, you're crying, saying, please, please.
I'm either going to get better at it so I know what works, or someone's going to feel sorry for me and sign up, right? So yes, that's the delivery side of things there. And then you might be thinking, oh, yeah, but Jono, what if you've got, 100 people in there? Cool, I can bring another trainer on, right? And let's say I'm charging $50 a week for boot camp, right? It's $50 a week. You get 5 sessions a week. It's like $10 a session, right? And let's say I've got 100 clients. Great, that's $5,000 I'm making a week there. I can pay a trainer $50 a session. What's $250 for me if I'm making 5,000, right? And I might bring 2 trainers on there. Hey, there's 50 people coming to each session. So look, let's break it up into 2 groups of 25, and each group has 2 different trainers there. So really, it's a ratio of 1 to 12 people, which is almost small group as it is, right? But even and let's even go further still there as well, right? Back when I was running boot camp, it was like, all right, cool. I want to get this to run without me. So cool. I've got, and I think I had 40 people coming per session. I would have 2 trainers running that session there, groups of 20. And then I was just sort of supervising. And my original goal was, that way I don't have to work. I can just sleep in and, the business runs itself. But being me, the person I am, I was like, I'm bored. So I went and started up another boot camp in another area of Sydney, right? So it had those options there as well. So if you can get into that system there where it's like, all right, cool, how can this business run without me being there? The first option is to scale and be like, all right, cool, how can I get more income working less hours? And then ideally you want it to run without you there. And this is where we get to that other thing that trainers have, where it's like, nobody can do it like me. Where it's like, hey, I've tried hiring someone before, but my clients didn't like that trainer. They like me. They signed up to train with me, right? And that's true to an extent, but it's the same sort of philosophy there, where it's like, if someone comes in, of course they're not going to be as good as you, right? If they were as good as you, they wouldn't be working for you. You would be working for them, right? Or are you giving them 50% equity? How are they going to be? Are you paying them half of what you're getting? If you're not, why the hell would they be as good as you, right? So and like any job, if you're going to open up an ice cream parlor, right, and you hire a kid to help you make the ice creams, you're going to train that kid to make the ice creams, right? It's the same sort of thing with a trainer, Were you going to say something?
Yeah, a good friend of mine, mentor, said most people wait until the person is almost as good as you, right? Or they're 80%, 90% as good, 95%, then you hand it off. He said, I wait to 60%. At 60%, I don't think of it as getting 40% less in that session or in that business. I think of it as now I have 100% of me to go pour into things that need my attention. So I'm actually getting 160%, not just 40% less. I'm getting 160% of myself moving forward, because I can always help them and coach them up higher and higher. And that's my first priority. But then even if you take that 40% away, you've got 120% of you on something else, right? Not just 40% less. So I think that 60% rule is great for a new person coming in, because it's so hard to hand over the reins. And there's a system for that too, that you don't have to just, when we talk about this, it sounds like, hey, tomorrow Jono's taking over. That's obviously not the way that should work. There should be a relationship period there that builds them up and shows the people that they can trust them.
My take is also, you should hire a trainer before you need a trainer. That's another mistake I make. It's like, shit, now I've got 50 people for this boot camp and I need another trainer. Where do I find this trainer that can manage 50 people? It's not going to work like that. Ideally, cool. Hey, you've got 20 people. bring another trainer on board to help you out. Yeah, you don't need that person now, but it's the investment in the future. So when you are busy enough, you've already got someone that everyone knows the style, they've been following you, they know where to go, yada, yada, yada. So there's that there. I've got to run in about 1 minute, but there's this one point I want to finish that off with as well. And this can even work with one-on-one personal training as well, right? And it's a small group too. And it's often a situation where you can raise the rates there, where it may be a matter of, let's just say you're charging, I don't know, you're charging $60 for, you're charging $50 for a 45-minute session. That's about right. It's give or take, an average sort of rate there, right? And you've filled your books. You don't want to do boot camp. You don't want to do small group. You can bring a trainer on board there as well. And you can use I haven't used this strategy, but I've heard one of my mentors use it, which is the double the rate strategy. Okay. This was Todd Durkin that told me this. He was, his books were full and he had a business mentor. The business mentor's like, hey, what you should do is you should double your rates. And he's like, man, double my rates. I'm going to lose half my clients. And he's like, yeah. So you're making the same amount of money doing, half the amount of work, right? Isn't that a good thing? And then he was like, but what you can do is you've got this young kid, Brett Clicker, who's been training under you for, X amount of years or X amount of months or whatever. Tell your clients, hey, my rate's going from $50 to $100. But look, if you want to stay on $50 here, you can stay with my trainer, Brett. All right. And then that trainer under you, they stay with that rate. You take a few dollars off there as well. It's a win, or it's, you can go with $75 and work with this person here. And then you take a bit of a clip there. So it's a win-win there. Does it make sense?
Good. It's really good.
Awesome. Ryan, I got to run because I got another podcast on now. Anything you wanted to finish up with?
Yeah. So, Jono, anybody in my group here, anybody on the podcast wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that? I want to get
best
in
thing
the
is,
SEO world.
Either add me as a friend. You can find me on Facebook, Jono Petrohilos, or join the Fitness Education Online group, Fitness Education Online Community.
Petrohilos, easy to spell, guys. Go ahead and find it. No big deal. And if you are watching this and you need help with your sales process, go grab I Hate Selling for the Fitness Professional, international bestseller. I know the guy that wrote it personally. www.ihatesellingbook.com. Go grab it. And guys, go reach out to Jono. Tell him how awesome he is and check out his group. It is the jam. See ya. Train smart, live well, guys. See ya.